Kyrie and Luka share the floor. 8 of their 9 games together have been decided by single digits. Okay, Ryan Windhorst back here with us. Hey, Wendy. Stephen A., who is the most at stake in Dallas? Is it Kyrie, is it Luka, or is it their coach, Jason Kidd?
I would say it's Kyrie. Jason Kidd's not going to lose his job if they don't make the playoffs this year. Luka's certainly not going anywhere. It's Kyrie whose future will be up in the air because obviously he's looking to get paid, whether it's from the Dallas Mavericks or from somebody else. Now, Wendy, before I go any further, did I say anything inaccurate at that point? Is there anything about what I just said?
I wish I could disagree with you. I agree with all of it.
Right. And by the way, it doesn't sound personal, does it? Because you see, I had the temerity, the unmitigated gall to acknowledge publicly that, you know what, I'm not apologizing for the fact that Kyrie and I have had our differences, but in no way does it affect my reporting on him. I talk about Kyrie Irving's basketball brilliance all the time. I talk about he's box office all the time. I talk about his greatness as a talent all the time. And I've even said that pay the man $50 million a year if you want to. If you can guarantee me that he's going to show up to work more than 50% of the time because he's been the worst less than 50% of the time, I'm not giving him a long-term deal. These are factual things that I've stated about nothing but basketball. And this notion that you got to agree with everybody, that every reporter out there, if you're reporting on somebody, you must like them personally or dislike them personally. And that interferes with your ability to report on and disseminate facts. It's just foolhardy when they question it, they don't understand stuff. So I'm just going to leave it at that. Kyrie Irving, his future, not his future in the NBA, but his future in terms of the money that he covets is at stake. If Dallas is losing with you, how much money long-term are you going to get from them? The Lakers could come into play, all right? And the Lakers, before Rob Pelinka makes all of these moves, goes out there and puts word out that, you know what, they were definitely interested in Kyrie Irving. I can't imagine that they wouldn't be because he's so spectacular. But, Wendy, what if the Los Angeles Lakers make the playoffs? What if the Los Angeles Lakers become a top 6 seed? What if they advance in the playoffs with the roster as presently constructed, with D'Angelo Russell up for a new deal? Are we sure that that's not going to change their thinking as to whether or not they want Kyrie Irving or not? And if that's the case, that would leave Dallas in the best position to re-sign him. There's a long-standing relationship with Nico Harrison, who used to be at Nike. Love Nico, wishing him nothing but the best. Very proud of that, brother. But in the end, it all comes down to this, Wendy. Kyrie Irving might not have but so many options when it comes to the long-term money that he's looking for unless things really, really go his way. Did I say anything that is factually incorrect or personal?
No, and let me take it a step further. The reason that Kyrie took a wrecking ball to the Nets was because he wanted a contract. I'm not saying the Nets were going to do things great this year, but the reason Kyrie pressed the issue, forced a trade, was because they wouldn't give him an extension. So let's not worry about words. Let's worry about actions. I know that he took that action. So I know that that's in the back of his mind in the way he's playing right now. What Kyrie needs is leverage. He needs the Lakers to be dying for him so that they'll rip their team apart to create the space to offer him a contract, or he needs to play so well for the Mavericks that they can't even imagine a world in which they could tell Luka Doncic that they lost him. And so right now, Kyrie is losing the leverage game. He is not playing well enough. They are not winning enough. And the Lakers look like that this new alignment, even without LeBron, is making progress. But we are only in March. There is time left. Kyrie could rally. The Lakers could fall apart. It is still there for him. But he wants those multiple years, Stephen A., and he's got to have a certain series of events to happen for it to get it.
Wendy, I will say this. He is playing well enough. Averaging 27, 51% shooting from the field, 41% from three-point range. I think he's playing well enough. The results aren't good enough because they're losing more than they're winning. But he's doing what he was brought there to do. And I think he deserves credit for that. But in the end, if you're doing what you're doing and y'all are still not winning games, then that might be justification for not paying you what you want to get paid. That's all that's
right.
going on
We
with
gotta leave
Kyrie.
it there.
But he's doing his job. He just has to play well and often.
Yep.
Can't miss more than 50% of his games.
All right, and I'm going to catch my second Windy. By the way, I love that graphic. It makes me smile every time I see it. With Brian Windhorst.
Listen to this from last night.
Tim McMahon, our colleague here at ESPN, and I are told that Ja Morant has entered into a counseling program in Florida. He has been away from the team. He'll continue to be away from the team now, seeking the help, the assistance that he said he would after that incident in that Denver nightclub. The NBA's investigation into Ja Morant and that incident that involved a gun, that continues. But right now, what we do know is that the Grizzlies are giving Ja Morant all the time he needs to get the help he needs, the assistance he needs. The league investigation continues, and there is no timetable right now on when he might return to the Grizzlies.
I'm proud of Ja getting the help that he really needs. This shows commitment, this shows accountability, and addressing his issues head on for whatever that timetable is away from the team. You know, look, there's accountability around aiming lasers at an opponent's bus. Obviously, you know, having the issue with a teenager, showing a gun, threatening a mall security guard, brandishing guns on the internet. Like, these are all things that are critical that we talk about. But the last part, man, is something that really gets me. We always keep it a buck on the show. And the strip club incident where the pictures are being leaked really rubbed me the wrong way. It was like, oh, now you're trying to add, like they're trying to create like a smear campaign on top of the things that he has to address. Just to let people know, like, these are common day occurrences for athletes, for a lot of people other than athletes too, who go to strip clubs daily and have drinks and watch, right? And go there for entertainment. The fact that his security people were there, the owner of the club even said that he wasn't drinking, he wasn't doing anything, he was exceptionally polite, he was an incredible person. There's $50,000 on the ground that he's given to a dancer, but now these photos are just quote unquote leaked. It pisses me off. I'm like, oh, where's the invasion of privacy here? Like, now something like the New York Post has this, and it becomes this ongoing story, and people criticizing him. Like, athletes go to strip clubs daily when they're on the road. Like, the owner was even talking about, yeah, we have Denver Bronco players in here, we have, you know, Denver Nugget players in here, but this is the one player that all of a sudden photos are leaked. It just seemed like a smear campaign.
I get that, but just as you might say, that is negative publicity. That's not really germane. Some might say, yeah, but then he did other stuff, and one of the ways out of accepting responsibility in this country seems to be in modern life, hey, I need help. Now, I don't agree with that logic exactly. That is accepting responsibility, but I can see where people would say, even acknowledging your point, yeah, that's not really what this is about right now, although maybe it fits into a